Good morning, Cort. Thank you for joining us today. But before we get started, I have a disclaimer. So, are you ready?
Yeah,
So, this conversation is going to be recorded and posted on YouTube with the intention of benefiting both your business as well as mine. So, do you agree to that?
sounds good.
Outstanding. So, Cort, how are you doing this morning?
It's pretty busy actually. I think September, I'm starting to learn September is a pretty busy month for Academy X. A lot of people requesting classes. We're actually not going to have enough rooms, I think, one week. So,
Oh,
yeah,
wow, that's a good problem to have.
it
Yes,
is a good problem. Everybody tells me it's a good problem, yeah. But they don't
yes,
have to do all the paperwork.
that's exactly right. Yes, sir.
Right.
So, can you please introduce yourself and tell us what Academy X is all about?
Yeah, definitely. My name is Cort Tafoya, and I'm the branch manager of the Sacramento location for Academy X. We're in 4 cities. We do software training. I think we have about 35 different classes. It's software with Microsoft and Adobe, but then it's also web design and now
Okay.
digital marketing. We've been doing a lot more digital marketing lately, so AdWords, SEO, social media, stuff like that.
Beautiful, beautiful. So, who are the people who normally take up your classes?
Um, a lot of professionals who are looking to upgrade their skills. Some people are entrepreneurs who need a new skill set altogether to maybe run
Mhm.
their business. A lot of companies, big companies that like to, invest in their staff, they'll send people for training. All of our training, I just want to mention also, all of our training is in person with a live instructor. Class
Right.
sizes are pretty small; they're about 1 to 4 people. But yeah, back to your question. Um, Government also is another one. Government sends a lot of people for Excel and Access and stuff like that.
That's outstanding. So it's all technology based.
hmm Yeah, we reach I would say we just have a really wide audience, which is one of the reasons they've been able to be so successful. Everybody who's looking to climb their career ladder has to update their skills, and even people who are not in the process of having their career already, maybe they're looking to update their job skills. They have to get the basic level of training. So for them, they'll come in and it'll be something that they can add to the resume.
Beautiful, beautiful. And as far as I know, the marketing industry is kind of changing drastically in the sense that
Yeah.
things are moving away from paper and, even TV and radio advertisement, and a lot of the traffic is moving onto the internet.
Yeah, it's interesting because I worked with a guy who's very smart. He runs his own marketing agency, and he'd been in marketing for a long time. And he said, "Court, it's all about branding, frequency, and reach. How do you have a good impression on people? That's the branding part.
Sure.
And then the other thing with frequency and reach is, how often are you in front of them, and how many people can you reach? And, that's why you see McDonald's buying billboards. And so um, I think one thing for the Sacramento location is actually our reach and our frequency is not that high. People really have to find us digitally, and we've
Sure.
actually looked at the options of doing radio and even doing just dropping off marketing collateral at different locations because we
Mhm.
want to up the frequency and reach. I think a reason that people go away from that is because it's really hard to measure. Not everybody says, "Oh, I saw a brochure and that's why I came in." Whereas if they go to your website and you've got Google Analytics set up really well,
Yes.
yeah, you know exactly what you're getting for your marketing spend.
You can track it. Yes, sir. So when
Yeah,
it comes to digital marketing, what is the platform that you guys are focusing on when it comes to your training side?
right. We do a couple things. The thing that we do very well is well, actually, you know what? I don't know if I want to get into that too much. I'm thinking now, what would the CEO want me to say? And he might not want us to talk too much about our marketing.
Oh, okay.
Um, so yeah, it's I would just say that everybody knows when it comes to digital marketing, there's a few avenues you can do. You can do social, you can do content, you can do search
Sure.
marketing, paid marketing. And I would say we do all of those, but we're better at some than others. Yeah.
Absolutely. But what kind of training do you offer when it comes to these platforms? Like which platform do you
Oh,
focus on training side?
oh, okay. I'm sorry about that. I might have misunderstood the question.
Right, right.
Yeah, so for training in terms of marketing, SEO, AdWords, social media, and we're trying to expand that a little more. We offer Salesforce classes as well. So if you need to, manage your leads, we do CRM training. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, Salesforce has been around for a really long time. I remember
Right.
like 15 years ago, I used to work with a platform called Siebel.
Oh, I've heard of that. Yeah.
Yes, and then Siebel got bought over by Oracle, but and then they just merged it with the Oracle suite of products, But it's just interesting that Salesforce has been around for such a long time now.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yes, sir. So, also, can you please talk to us about how you found me? Like a couple of weeks ago, I just got a message from you on the group page. Hello,
Yeah,
can you hear
sorry,
me?
1 second. I've actually got a student right here. I'm going to help him real quick.
Sure,
Hey,
sure, go for it.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
no problem.
Jim said to give this to you. I needed my
Thank you.
work needed to get this
No
signed
problem.
off on.
I'll sign that and then I'll get back to you. I'm actually in the middle of a live
Okay, no
podcast.
worries.
So,
Take
yeah.
your time. Take your time
All
over
right.
it, and I know
No, we're okay. All right, thanks. All right, guys. Sorry about that. Yeah,
That's okay.
it's a very in-person sort of job. I can put it that way. But yeah, how we
But that
found you.
just
Well,
backs up your statement that you're extremely busy.
I know. I know that there are people going to be watching this, and it's like I don't want to not give them my attention as well. Sorry about that. So to
Sure.
answer your question, how do we find you? Well, I was doing a lot of searches just for social media trainers, and then I usually use Google and LinkedIn to find people such as yourself. Yeah, and we're glad we did.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. And also, you're also involved with the Auburn Incubator, correct?
Yeah, right. So we just established a partnership about 4 or 5 weeks ago with a new tech incubator in Auburn. It's like a co-working space, and um, yeah, the deal with them is any of their members get 40% off our classes, and that's something that we want to establish actually with all the co-working spaces. I've had conversations with just about every one of them, strong interest on their part, and we're still just trying to close that.
Wow, wow, that's all awesome. So you're also very involved with the community and then all the business community in
Right.
general.
It kind of goes back to that thinking of, frequency and reach, and these partnerships, that's how you know you're going to get frequency, and for us it expands our reach, because I don't know if the tech community in Sacramento really knows about us, which is kind of surprising and almost shocking, because that's what
Right,
we do. We teach tech, and
right.
especially people, coding is exploding. Everyone wants to learn how to code, and we do JavaScript and HTML and CSS and SQL, backend stuff, Drupal. um, so that's something that we feel like there's a good audience there, and we want to get in front of them.
Absolutely. And tech jobs typically tend to pay a lot more than most other jobs, and I think I can say that with
Yeah.
confidence because
Oh
I
yeah.
spent 17 years in the IT tech industry.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yes, sir. Awesome. So thank you, thank you so much for joining us, Code. Do you have any questions for us at this point?
Well, yeah, actually, I'm excited to get to know more about your social media workshops. I know you had one here recently. How do those go? I mean, what do you do to prepare for those, and what do you cover in those like 2 hour talks?
Absolutely. See, my entire training strategy is basically focused on how I can help salespeople network and make more connections. And I agree with everything that you said. Marketing is really about reach and branding. And what is
Right.
the third thing that you said? I'm sorry, I forgot.
Yeah, branding, frequency, and reach. Those three. Yeah.
Branding, frequency, and reach, right? And all three of these things are kind of addressed by Facebook and YouTube and all these
Right.
social media platforms, because when you connect with, like, let's say 100 people, especially on Facebook, and then the next thing, I mean, so long as you're posting decent, engaging content, see, you don't need to be calling these people every day or emailing these people every day, because most people log into Facebook for like 4 or 5 hours a day, and if they start seeing you on their news feed again and again and again, see, that goes back to your reach, right?
Yeah.
And then people start commenting on it, and then you get the viral action, because what happens when people comment or like your post is they're actually promoting you to their network of people,
Yeah. Yeah,
right?
definitely.
Yes, sir. And then the next thing you know, you're going from 100 to 150 friends to 200 and 300. See, the sky is literally the limit on this particular strategy. However, I've really broken down the strategy to some simple steps that, as a matter of fact, I'm training a 17-year-old girl right now, on how to prospect and how to make meaningful connections and then monetize these connections, because it's not all about just making the connections. At the end of the day, you want to turn them into paying customers.
Right, right. You know, what advice do you give people about like being authentic? Because one of the things that I struggle with social media is there's what I want to say, and then there's what my company will let me say. And I think you work for people who mostly run their own businesses, I guess, but maybe some other people as well. So I don't know, that whole thing about being authentic on social media, because you're saying something on Facebook or Twitter, but is it even something worth listening to, right?
You're exactly right. See, the thing that can make or break this deal is, it's by being authentic. And I'm kind of lucky in the sense that, I built my own business. So I basically need to, I don't have too many corporate policies to adhere to. But what I
Right.
do, but what I do advise other people is, especially because I deal with a lot of securities people, where regulation is very high. Everything that they say is monitored. So what I suggest to them is always be in touch with your compliance officer and do not give away too much on social media. In the sense, see, there's this group of people, who are actually trying to close the deal on social media. However, I really advise all my clients to really use social media as a lead generator. This is a great tool to make a lot of connections, but you do not want to try and close the deal right here, because that kind of kills the personal relationship, number one. And number two, that will open you up to whatever you're talking about, in the sense that, let's say you said something and people interpreted that as something else, that's going to open up a whole new can of worms. So I always like the personal one-on-one meetings where I actually focus on closing the deals. I really use Facebook and YouTube and all these platforms to make the connections. Like even in your case, I saw the message coming into the group page, and then I just contacted you, and then I
Right.
said, what's a good day and time to meet so we can
Right.
talk face to face?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely.
Yes, sir. So I think people need to understand the clear line between social media and the personal relationships, because the personal relationships are not going anywhere. The computers are all great, from the point of view of reach and frequency, and the computers can do that better than anybody else. However, you still do not want to forget about the personal one-on-one relationships. And as a matter of fact, a lot of times, even after I close the deal, I will go back to my client and I say, would you like to meet for lunch or dinner? So you want to continue that. See, obviously you cannot do that every single day, but you do want to make it a point to meet your customers at least once a month,
Yeah.
depending on your schedule, because that will kind of address some of these communication issues. Because then all that you're doing here is, kind of doing like a promo to a movie. This is not a movie itself. You're just giving people a taste of who you are.
Yeah.
And that should kind of, allow you to be authentic without worrying about, I mean, again, you don't want to break any laws, but because you're not trying to sell right here,
Yeah.
hopefully that should not get you into trouble with your own compliance department.
Right, right. Makes sense. It's good advice.
Yes, sir. And again, any industries that are highly regulated, I strongly, strongly recommend that any piece of content that they do, pass it through the complaints officer, even when it's not so controversial, because you want to make sure, you want to make absolutely sure that you don't get into trouble because of this.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. All right.
Yes,
Thanks,
sir.
Raj. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Cort. And by the way, if somebody who's watching this video is interested in getting in touch with you because they're interested in getting your training, how can they contact you? Would you mind
Yeah.
giving away your contact information or
No
email,
problem.
please?
No problem. Thank you. Yeah. Cort@academyx.com, and Cort is spelled Cort.
Mhm.
The website is www.academyx.com, and our phone number, office phone number, I'll pick it up, 916-333-5710.
Thank you very much, Cort. Have a wonderful rest of the day.
You too. Thanks, buddy. Bye.
Bye-bye.